Today I'm going to be talking about Richard Chase, the vampire of Sacramento. Richard Chase, his home life as a kid was not the best. His dad was very abusive, and his mom struggled a lot with her mental health, which he would go on to do. In school, it is said that he got along with a lot of kids, but after high school is when he really became a loner and just didn't have a lot of friends. He started to think that his heart would stop and that he just thought there was a lot going on. He thought he had a lot of health problems that he really didn't have. He would take oranges and he would wrap it in a towel and wrap it around his head because he felt like his head was changing shapes. He even shaved his head once so he could monitor basically his head. He started hurting animals, and he would take their blood. He would make smoothies with them, and he even once injected rabbit blood and got very sick and had to be hospitalized, and they put him on a hold for his mental health. But what's so crazy is the hospital gave him the name Dracula because he would get birds that I guess were coming from the window, and he would drink their blood. But he would go on to do a lot more. He got in a, well, he was sad because it was Christmas and his mom didn't want him to come over. So he got in the car and he ended up, as he was driving, he shot a man, and the man was just 52 years old, and he was just taking in groceries with his wife, and his wife thought at first that he had had a heart attack. And his second victim was a young woman who, she was just 22 and she was pregnant. She was taking the garbage out, and one thing about him, he said he would break into houses that were unlocked because he felt that if it was unlocked, that was an invitation to basically come in your house. So he killed her and drank her blood, and like I said, she was pregnant. And the husband wasn't home at the time, and he's the one that come home to find her. So I can't imagine what that was like. But that wouldn't be the only thing he did. He would break in to a house where a mom, her name was Evelyn, and she had a kid, and she was babysitting her nephew and her friend was there. Well, he broke in and he killed her and her son and the baby nephew, and he killed the friend. And it was a little girl that went to knock on the door that basically seen their bodies and went to tell a neighbor. So she had to see that. So how he was caught is one day he went to the store and he seen a girl he went to school with. He went up to her and the first thing he asked her is, "Wasn't you there when Kurt died?" The girl he was talking to, that was her ex-boyfriend. And she told him no, and she was like, "Who are you?" Because he didn't look like he did in high school. She said he looked very different. He just didn't look like himself. And he told her who he was, and she recognized him. And so they start talking. And he asked her, "Where are you going?" And she says, basically the cash out line. And he follows her. And she's freaked out. So she gets in her car really quick. And she notices that in the detective drawing they did of him, that he's wearing the same outfit, and he's basically the same guy in the description. So she reports it, and when they go to his house, they find blood, and they just find a lot of evidence. So he's arrested and he was sentenced to death, but his inmates wanted basically him to take his life. And when they were giving him his medicine, he was basically sneaking it, and he ended up overdosing because he wanted to take his life. But the sad thing is, for all the lives he destroyed, and the young mother who didn't get to have her baby, and the young child that he took. But that is the story of Richard Chase.